What's up guys, my name is Xaelfas, and this is Ark Survival Evolved, playing on Survival of the Fittest. And this time I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of how I start my games before we actually get to how I played through on this one. You'll notice I always have my hotbar set at the beginning of the match. While I'm waiting in that bubble, which lasts for about 3 minutes, I go ahead and quickly set up the name, make my tribe name, sometimes do random ones, and then I go ahead and I put the first things I need in the game, because to me the very beginning of it is the most critical in terms of I've actually died 50 seconds into a match before simply because I didn't notice somebody pretty close to me doing the same thing. Managed to craft him a bunch of arrows right before death. But anyway, you'll notice everything that I have on that hotbar is for immediate use in the early part of the game. Sometimes you'll see me gather some things earlier with some later intention, and sometimes I'm just kind of swinging away. I will always raise my stamina, my max weight, and then I'll also dump everything after that point into HP, which is your most essential item in the game. But as I've shown a few times in the past, your stamina can be your most important stat altogether at times, whether it's running or what do you want to call that? Strategic withdrawal? Sometimes it's one or the other. Other times it's both. So running around, grabbing what I need. I also tend to make a lot of narco arrows pretty early after this point, once I've broken into the woods, because I'm never really sure what I'm gonna do. Now, if I don't end up using narcos to tame anything, which does happen, like for instance in this game, then I will actually use them against Spinos and things like that. It's not incredibly difficult to counter Spinos in terms of playthrough. You gotta have parachutes as your safety net, but really it just comes for a mass topor, and you just spam them and try to stay alive. Typically you got a tame or something. It'll buy you more time, it'll get you where you need to be. Now, just as a personal preference, I don't like to go down to the beach side until the first event clicks over. Now, if it's a double taming, typically that means I've lost on an opportunity, but being that it's one of many events that can happen, it is pretty non-typical. Now, it does happen. There are plenty of times where it's an issue, but let's say acid rain hits, these rocks right here, for the most part, will protect you from the acid rain. Now, I do vary my games a little bit every time. I do end up over here quite a bit, whether it's just on the side in general, whether it's up the river, down the river. My normal playthrough now, I will typically leave this area to find other players fairly early after getting a quick tame or something like that, or just making my armor or what have you. I scout this area first, then I'll just parachute further down the coast looking for players, whether they're taming or otherwise, and go in full hunt mode. Now, Mega Fog is great because piranhas will not attack you while Mega Fog is going. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if I knew that at this point in the game. But, like I said, tend to scout areas, that kind of thing. You always end up with some players on this beach, whether it's up or down river. Now, as you can tell from the title, this is mostly about playing with a single ape. Now, I may or may not acquire other tames throughout the process, but acquired tames are not personal tames. Now, what I'm looking to do here is really just find anything and get a good start, because at this point in the game, the barrier is closing in. Now, this is the slower barrier. There's another that closes in more rapidly, which you will see me in more games playing with the rapid playthrough. However, at this particular point, this side gets blocked off kind of early. So I've got to try to take advantage of whatever I can. First order of business, now that I've determined there's nobody around, is get attacked by bugs like every single game and gather some hide. Now, I say every single game. When I'm not dealing with swarms of insects, I'm kind of worried that something's broken in Ark. So there you go. Often I'll deal with I want to say 4 groups of Titan Monirna in this area. They seem to spawn quite a bit. Seen an ape across the way. Next mission's to get over there. I want more hide. Haven't seen any threats around me. I do tend to look around quite a bit while I'm doing these things. I'm not necessarily focused on the little target I'm shooting, but there's somebody up there on the left. And for once, we're not engaging them, actually. We're just trying to hurry. If I catch an arrow or something, you know, I'll be gone. Also, really bad play right there, by the way. I shouldn't be trying to craft everything all at once after seeing a player right up by that rock. But, you know, he didn't seize his opportunity and he just lost it. I always wonder if that's Yoshi right there that says, "Good luck, man, haha." Anyways, so we found our ape, and it gets really uneventful at this point. A lot of players die right at this point in the game. We get down to 10 players, and I'm going to jump ahead for y'all to the next critical point of the match, because realistically all that happens here is I make some items and I tame up this ape. Alright guys, catching up very quickly. I've crossed over river with the ape. It's nearly died. I've re-gotten it back up to health through narco berries, stem berries, and force feeding it a ton of berries, which is much more effective than it would seem. Most people won't be able to take the time to do that in a real match. Now, this was a really good shot. Something you didn't see in the last episode, which y'all notice it's kind of a big point as to why I'm showing you guys this video next. And also, it was one of the next games after that. Now, this poor ape has taken a beating this entire game, by the way. It has been at 20% health or less almost the entire game. Now, we have a very rare opportunity here because I don't typically see people teching right here. This is a bit strange. And I believe at this point I may have already made a spyglass. I may not have. I did gather crystal so that I could make a spyglass. I am pretty fond of it because you can see the player's name and things like that. In multiplayer, obviously this is all multiplayer, but in teams, it's really nice because then you can see if people are affiliated or not. And it does kind of have some advantages to be able to watch these afterwards as well. I managed to catch a video of some players cheating a little while back, concealing their real names, but so the only people who would really know are the developers themselves if they saw the video. But unfortunately it does happen in FFA, but you know, it's just something that's got to be overcome. This guy really wasn't set up for much. Now perhaps if we'd come and killed him in a few minutes, but the barrier would be there as well, and I'm not really intending on making a shotgun or anything like that. Realistically, at this point, and as late as it is, I would just assume try to get some chitin, crossbows, something like that, because my aim's gotten a lot better at this point in the game. Now, I do slack on and off in this game. Sometimes I'm very on point with my arrows, and other times I'm doing everything I can to avoid an arrow engagement. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut from here until the next engagement, but we're going to finish up crafting and try to get set up. There's also an unconscious pterodon nearby that I go ahead and claim for myself. Now, there's also a side note, a player that's been running around on Sabertooth killing players quite a bit, and he's been doing it from very early in the game, so he's obviously a real threat in this game. I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the future, guys. See you in a minute. Alright guys, at this point our ape is healed up very nicely. For once he's higher than half health, and we're gonna go ahead and, where is he at? Grab our free pterodon that we get right there. I don't really use these guys for too much. They die very easily, but they do have their uses as well. They're incredibly hard to hit once they're aggroed on you, so you know, they got a few things they can do. I did win a few games before they were nerfed by just taming them and sicking them on players that had guns. It was kind of amusing. They were just off guard, or they would have easily killed them. Oh, overweight. Well, this guy's useless. Oh well. Oh, well, he's really useless. That was a gunshot. And if you look at the player, it was one who's managed to kill with the saber-tooths from earlier in the game. Now, this guy's been running around just destroying people. So I have no intention of being in melee range of these saber-tooths. They must do pretty good damage. Now, somebody's trike right there. We're just going to try and lay back. There's one more guy out there, obviously with the single trike that's running around. Now, he's getting outplayed right now because he's probably getting caught from the other side right now with that trike all the way away. Who knows? He may have other things, but it doesn't look to be going too well for him. Now, the crossbow does really significant damage, especially if they're not in a high-tier armor. We only have a few pieces of chitin, but I don't think I even put them on, actually. Now, had I had a full set, yeah, definitely would have been on quickly. Worried about getting shot, by the way. Managed to shoot that pterodon and kill it in a single shot. Now we've got something to worry about from the sky, which carno drops are sometimes very problematic for me. I've actually lost while getting multiple T-Rex tames that I was stealing from someone simply because of timing. Trying to watch out for this guy. One gun shooting. So you know what? Maybe it's a different player. Maybe he's been the one with guns the whole time and the saber-tooths are a different problem. But maybe they both have guns. These Sarcos are a bit of an annoyance, but there's no time to really engage them. Okay, now let's see. So it is a different player, which means that the guy on the saber-tooths also has guns. So this guy has managed to clean up the match for us. He's done virtually all of the work, and now it's just him and I. Now, the good thing we have is this Sarco annoying army, well, it is annoying anyway. It's also providing us a lot of help because those saber-tooths aren't going to have a lot of life. That's why he's been running around so much. He's being an opportunist, as he should be. There we go. Now he's off. Headshot. And the trike finishes the job. Good game. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like to support the channel or subscribe for future content.